don't even know that they have those issues. But with the curriculum, with all that, what is the general education courses, those strengthen your specific knowledge of the nursing science or the health sciences. So it's a well-rounded education that helps a nurse, not just the nursing curriculum, but the background, the rest of the subjects prior to actual nursing. For example, biochemistry, well, we sweated it out, and you kind of think, why is it so important? And you know, you kind of think, well, you're taking the course that it's not really relevant, but it is to understand, you know, what happens, the pathophysiology and the biochemical things that happen, the Krebs cycle, etc. You have to know that those foundational information to be able to explain why you are seeing signs and symptoms of a particular disease process. So it's interwoven. You cannot. You have to have a good basic education plus a very strong curriculum of the specialty of nursing.
Yes, and being an expert in this field, may we know, and these are some of the questions that were raised by some of the nurses or the newly graduate nurses that we have received. Now, first, is there still a shortage of nurses? And second, how do nurses, mostly those who have just maybe 1 year experience in their original home country, and how do they adjust to the new employment when they go abroad for a nursing profession to practice as a nurse?
First of all, I know now there doesn't seem to be a very big shortage, but it is happening already because more and more nurses are retiring. You know, and there will always be a need for nurses, even with all sorts of technological advances. So there will always be a job for nurses. The advice that I would give to the nurses that are just finishing or just have finished and starting their careers is to be always open to learning new things. You're always learning because medicine and nursing, everything is evolving. So one has to be flexible, but one has to be very keen to the changes that are happening in the healthcare needs, not just of the people of the country one trained in, but also for the rest of the world. But see, a sick patient is a sick patient, whether you're in Germany, in the Philippines, or in the barrios, you know. So there are basic needs that have to be met. There is always that, I think that nurses should remember that one doesn't stop learning just because you graduate from nursing. Also, every society, like if you move from one country to another, you have to acculturate yourself. You have to understand a little bit of the culture or a lot of the culture. And we all start, you know, as fresh out of the boat nurses. So, you know, first draw on what you know, but also be open to what you do not know. It is very important to admit to oneself that you need, for example, we don't have a lot of machines, healthcare machines back home when we trained in the Philippines. But, you know, you have to always be open to and not be threatened by not knowing how to operate things, because there's always something to learn. Even as senior nurses, there's always a new piece of equipment or a new piece of information that you need to learn more about and be open. So for those who are coming from the Philippines, first of all, know what you're getting into. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. because it begins with you. If you do not know what you don't know, well, nobody would know, and you are doomed to fail. But if you are also very open and honest and say, I'm not comfortable doing this, that is the one thing that I learned back when we were still training, that you should be honest and open enough not to be thought as not being smart or stupid when you don't know how to do something. It is more of a liability if you go ahead and do something that you're not comfortable doing and then end up harming the patient. So it's always good to know yourself. Then secondly, that you then be able to communicate what your needs are. And I think we have this belief in nursing that the old ones eat the young ones, but I think that that's not true. But in fact, if you as a young nurse are willing to learn and to be open to learning, then you will have someone, because nurses are generally very caring and very motherly and taking care of everybody. So that is the key. If you want to go out of the country and work, you should be open. You should be self-aware.